Welcome to the Action Playbook. I'm Jason Fox.
And I'm Coach Robin.
And we're helping leaders take action in life and business. And we're back, episode 2 of the Action Playbook. Robin.
Hello, Jason.
How are you, pal?
So good.
I just blasted in like a Tasmanian devil. Hey, mate, I've only got about an hour. Can we do this now? And here he is. Action.
Action. That's what it's all about.
It is. It's good to have you back. So first of all, thanks to everyone who listened last week and for the response. We've had a pretty good response and appreciate you all. We want to get this as wide and far as possible to impact as many lives. So if you can share it on your socials, if you can click the little 5-star link up the top, that all helps to get this out in front of more people. So thanks in advance because I know you're all going to do that for us. Robin, what are we here to do today?
Today we're going to talk about dreams.
Martin Luther King?
Yeah.
Huh?
Not the dreams that we have when we're sleeping.
Okay.
But the dreams that we have that we can control.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
So
do you struggle with dreams?
No, I'd say I'm a pretty prolific dreamer.
Yeah.
Most nights I dream.
Yeah.
And looking around my office, I'd say, I'm a dreamer.
that was a loaded question. I know you're a dreamer, as am I. And but the funny thing is, there's a lot of people. In fact, most people have forgotten how to dream.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking
Well,
too
sad.
small.
Yeah.
Thinking too small.
Thinking too small. I think there's a lot of reasons why people stop dreaming. I mean, when you're a baby, you dream about walking, right? And you doggedly go after walking until you can walk, and then you later on you dream about going to school, until you get to school, and then you dream about getting out of school.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But for most people, somewhere along that journey, they stop dreaming, or they feel they don't deserve to dream.
Do you think that as parents, kids, they think they can do anything? Like, I can jump off this house. I'll fly like Superman, which is probably a dream too. I'll jump off this house, and the mum and dad's down there going, no, don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. So, we're trained to stop dreaming, perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's for a lot of us, we're trained to not ask questions.
Yeah, fit into a box.
Yeah. Children should be seen and not heard. That was something my parents used to say.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. I should get that at home.
Yeah, bring it out again. Yeah.
Put a big sign up on the wall.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, but no, I think through life, various things happen to us, and all of those lead to different reasons why we stop dreaming. And some of those would be like limiting beliefs. Maybe a teacher said, you're not going to amount to anything, or two common fears that I come across a lot when I'm working with business owners is fear of success, funny enough. It goes into the too hard basket, and then fear of failure or fear of rejection.
Yeah, fear of rejection's the big one, I'd say.
Yeah. And those, and you know what fear stands for, of course.
False evidence appearing real.
False expectations appearing real, yeah. And I think it's 100% true.
Yeah.
When we're born with 2 innate fears, and that's it, only 2 fears. Can you remember those 2 fears?
I'm going to say, let me think, fear of falling and loud noises.
Loud noises? Correct, 100%. Those are the only 2 fears we're born with.
Yeah.
Which is quite sad because every other fear we have is learnt.
Sure.
But then it's also exciting in a sense, because if they've been learnt, they could be unlearnt.
Yeah. And
I mean, that is something that I would definitely be recommending to our viewers and listeners is let's talk about how we can unlearn those fears and those inhibiting, limiting beliefs that we've developed through our lives. And let's get past that and start dreaming. Dreaming is free.
Yeah, look, I think if you can get past fear of rejection, you're just going to skyrocket.
Yeah, 100%.
You look at that one guy at school that you went to school with that would ask every girl out and get 20 no's, but he always dated the hot chick or something. Or in the bar, like, oh man, I'm not going to walk up to her, That's a rejection thing.
Yeah.
Business. I should ring in 20 clients every day and help my business grow. oh, but they might be a little bit busy, and I don't want to bother them. That's just your fear of rejection coming through. So it's that what if? What's the worst that's going to happen? The worst that's going to happen is a no in both of those situations. But yeah, it can be hard to overcome because it's a learned behaviour, like saying.
Yeah, and unlearned behaviour. So I think the one thing that I want to do right now, before we go any further, is everybody who's listening or watching this podcast right now, I want to give you permission to dream. I want to give you permission to dream. And there's an old saying, right? Follow your dreams because they know where to go.
Ah.
Yeah, and I think it's a great one.
Not sure if I've heard that one.
Yeah, I totally subscribe to it. So once you know what your dreams are, it's so much easier and more impactful when you start setting goals.
Sure.
Which is the next level of what we are going to be talking about on our next podcast. And so establishing where we're going, what is our destination, is one of the most important things, certainly in business, but in life as well. It's one of the most important things that we can do.
Yep. Planning to fail, failing to plan, all the rest of it. It's so what would be some tools that people could use to overcome, obviously, these limiting beliefs and start dreaming again?
Yeah, I've got 3 ideas I want to share today.
Okay.
I think the first one, the starting point is, before I go into that, so when you're wanting to dream, the best thing you can do is actually go off, find a nice quiet space. Maybe for you it would be the beach or sitting in a park somewhere quiet, somewhere where you can be reflective without interruptions.
So not golf then, because you get frustrated.
Oh.
Hitting balls in a tree is probably not golf.
Satan's playground. No, that's probably not a good place unless you're sitting somewhere safe. But so the first thing is find a nice quiet place, something that will inspire you a little bit to think more freely and certainly think without interruption. And then the first thing that I think people should do is to go and make peace with their inner child. So, we mentioned earlier about all these things that have happened in our lives, right? That have formed our identity, formed our beliefs. So if we're going to go back and unlearn those beliefs and fears, then go make peace with the inner child. And our inner child is different for everybody. But what I always like to do is, just sit there, close your eyes, picture your younger self, your inner child self, sitting on a log somewhere, maybe it's on the beach or in the park, and just walk over and go and have a conversation with your younger self and just let them know that everything's going to be okay. Life's going to be okay. You're going to end up in a good place. And it's very liberating to have that conversation with your inner child.
It's interesting. I was listening to something a while ago, and a tool they had, and it might be your next tool, so hopefully I don't ruin it, but it was literally writing a letter to yourself or people that you've had issues with in the past. Because, if you're holding a whole lot of resentment into an ex-partner or a friend that let you down or an old boss or something, and you just can't let that go, and every time you see that person you feel like a rage, write them out a letter. You don't have to post it to them, but get it out on paper and forgive them.
Yeah.
You might feel like they don't need forgiveness, but, they might be going about their life happily and that resentment's in you. So write it down, and you could potentially, that could be a tool to write to your younger self and tell them that, hey, you've turned out really well, and your fear, and maybe when your parents separated or whatever might be hurting inside, get that out on paper.
I think it's a great idea, Jason. Yeah, some people journal as well. It's a great way to get in touch with your true feelings, how you really feel about things.
Yeah, I saw that on a movie.
Yeah.
People writing in a journal. Yeah.
I'm going to get you there, don't worry. Yeah.
First you got to learn how to handwrite. No, carry on. So what comes next after that? So we apologise, and not necessarily apologise, but have a big brother talk to our younger selves.
Yeah, 100%. And then the next step is to free your mind.
Yeah.
Free your mind. And one exercise that I've found really useful in helping my clients free up their thinking is to do an exercise called the 10 things, and it's four things, right?
Sure.
Things you want to have, things you want to do, places you want to go, and people you want to meet, whether alive or dead.
Okay.
And the trick is you have to have 10. You can have more, but you can't have less than 10.
Yeah, don't cop out.
Don't cop out.
Yeah.
Just keep going until your mind will open up and then give you, if you only get to let's say 7, and you feel like you've hit a mental block now, just keep going at it, because your mind, there will come this pop, and your mind will suddenly go, hey, what about if we did this? Or what about if we did that? And suddenly, often actually, that becomes the most important things that pop out.
Yep.
After you've hit that mental block and broken through the ceiling.
Sure.
Just the key thing on that one, though, is you have to let go of any limitations around money, any limitations around time, and any limitations that you might have around being judged.
Yeah, and those people could be alive or dead too, right? Like when you and I did this for our Action membership goals, we did go through this. Who do we want to talk to? And I was like, fuck, I got it. Henry Ford, he'd be brilliant to sit down with. And you start thinking of people like that. Yeah. And the impact they've had on the world, and me being a car guy, as you can see all around me's car stuff, that'd be a key person for me to have at that table. And so, yeah, alive or dead goals, if you want the world peace, or if you want the biggest super yacht in the world, or something as simple as a nice Rolex, which isn't that simple because they're not cheap, but yeah, get them down on the paper, dream. Yeah. Okay.
And the thing that is so beautiful about the people, alive or dead, is that will show you who the inspirations are in your life. Like you mentioned about your passion for cars, and those things all come in to form our thinking and also form our aspirations. Looking at what other people have done, and that's okay. We don't have to carve out our own path. We can walk a path somebody else has until we get to a point where we go, okay, you know what, I've got this now. I'm going to come up with my own path from here.
An interesting one in that too is that I've just thought of while we're talking about this. If you've written all these people down that you'd love to actually sit around the table and you think that'd be so cool, and you haven't read their autobiography if they have one, or listened to their podcast or whatever media they have, it's probably a good place to start, because that might start motivating you. Going, yeah, I've really looked up to these people, listen and learn to their story, to next steps when we come into goals and stuff. How can we implement this into our lives?
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of content out there for a lot of people now.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the next tip that I want to give for creating your dreams is, understanding that and in the context of business, but the same applies to life too. Business is an enabler for life.
Sure.
Right? So if we understand the dream and we've now set the destination that we want to go to, we can then work out backwards how to get what we want, what we need, and right down to what do we need to do today to get us to that dream. Yep. So that would be the next step, is to then say, right, these are the things I want to have in my life. These are the things that I want to do. What is the cost associated with that? Because then you'll know what the business needs to produce to enable your life and enable your dreams.
Yeah.
And once you've enabled your dreams, and you've got your stepping stones, you will know, and every decision that you make, every thought that you have, should all then drive towards that dream. And it makes decision making so much easier. And like I said, that goal setting becomes more impactful, becomes more meaningful, and it gives you purpose. So now you know why it is that you get up and do what you do every day, because ultimately you're doing it to achieve those things and live that dream. Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense, because someone's goal might be to be financially free and not have to work, and that might mean that they can live humbly in the nice home that they're happy with on $100,000 a year down in somewhere nice west coast of South Island or something, and that's all they need. And they might actually look at, when they break that down, that I actually already own a property and I've got this, and if I just brought a couple more things, I could live off that passive income. That goal might be obtainable in 3 to 5 years. So once you know where it is, you can say, actually, I don't have to do this ever again if I just reach that goal. Bam. Someone else's goal might be to have 40 mansions, 20,000 wives, and now you know you're going to need probably $2 or $5 billion just to support the wives. You know, your goal might be a 10-year goal, and you're going to be working your ass off all the way through. But once you've actually got something to work from, like you're saying, you can break it back down, and you possibly are a lot closer to that goal than you realise.
And you know what they say, hey?
Tell me.
I'm going to tell you, Jason. I actually heard this the other day. It was Archbishop Desmond Tutu from South Africa came up with a saying that, maybe he made it famous, but you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right?
Sure.
And it's like once you understand the elephant, then you can start breaking it up into bite sizes, and that's really how you achieve those dreams and goals.
Cool. Are you having a salad with the elephant, or is it just...
I think an elephant's enough.
That's a good saying. Yeah, it's one step at a time. I actually, when I was talking to Phil Lottering about the walk they did down south, I likened it to walking up the mount. You know, if you're walking up the mount and you're staring at the top of those stairs and you're like, oh man, there's so many to go, and if your breathing gets heavier and all the rest of it, it gets pretty hard. But often if you're just staring at your feet, you're like, step, 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 step. Oh, I'm at the top. Get a little bit of a break. Step, 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 step. But if your eye's looking at the furthest point rather than that short goal or that extra step that's in front of you, that's how you can perceive it anyway.
Yeah.
Short steps, easy steps, 1% better each day, one step at a time, however you want to say it, you'll get there a lot quicker.
But something you touched on there, you know, I think a dream should scare you a little. It should seem a little bit unattainable. The last thing that you want to do is set a dream that is really comfortable. You know, it's something that is there to push us. It's something to give us purpose, but it's something that is there to enable our life. So it's got to be that little bit scary. Those are the best ones.
Oh, of course, yeah. Brilliant. Powerful stuff. Yeah,
I think that's what I have to share today with dreams, and next time we're going to talk about some goals.
Yep. So this will be up. You'll be listening to this on Wednesday, and the next one will be the following Wednesday, and the Wednesday after that. So stay tuned. Every Wednesday these will be coming out. And like we said earlier, we appreciate the support we've already received. And if you want to share them on your social medias or give us a like or a follow, all that stuff will help this get in front of more people and impact more lives, hopefully, for the better.
And now it's time to take action.
Boom.